Well, let's talk a bit more then about what Macron had to say today, and indeed what he didn't say as well, with the French political analyst Jean-Christophe Gallien. Welcome back to the programme, sir. Thanks for coming in. So today, no reshuffle by the president, no elections, no real changes at all. I mean, what did you make of his speech, his interview rather?
Yeah, he was stepping back in domestic arena. He was like, apart from that until late Thursday, and he came back to just say, I have no regrets. We're not going to change anything. Not only we survived, but we won the battle. He insisted in the victory.
Is he right about that?
No,
though?
not at all, because it was kind of he won, of course, on the parliamentary side, but he lost on the political effect of that victory. And the same thing, he was trying to push the idea that he was the only one that was completing the success. We are succeeding. We are succeeding on the employment base. We are succeeding in the fact that we are attractive. We're succeeding in every part of the national agenda. So no change. Don't. We are not going to move anything. Even the prime minister, not the government. Nothing is going to change. He was just here to say to part of the French people, we are succeeding, and let's continue on that.
Well, you said a part of the French people. So who is he talking to today? Because this took place at lunchtime, didn't it? This interview on French national television. I presume, therefore, the people watching were those who are at home during the day. Perhaps they're pensioners, actually. Who
yeah, exactly. You were stressing the real point. This is not France of the 80s or even the 70s. It's the whole people, even in provincial towns, are staying at work to eat. Most of them, at least. The only ones that do watch these kind of shows, which are huge and massive on the audience, they cover the whole population. It's the pensioners already, or the people that don't have work at all and are staying there. The whole framing of his speech today, of his interview, was addressed to these people. We are winning the battle. We are guaranteeing you the order, because you're seeing around people that are protesting, people are doing the things that are blocking the country, whatever. And all the framework of that, and at least on the basis of what he was talking about, was addressed to these people. This is not the whole France. And this is part of his supporters, officially, and he's trying to speak to that.
Well, certainly he doesn't have the support of all of France, does he? I mean, something like 2/3 of French people are against these pension reforms. And it looks like, from what we saw last week, most MPs don't support him on this either. So do you think he's going to have to govern differently now as a result of the fact that he doesn't have enough political support and he doesn't have the support of French people?
No, because that was already his promise. He was promised in 2017 and 2022. He was telling he was going to do politics differently, and he repeated today, even though he wouldn't change anything on that specific project because it's necessary. The only regret he had today was to say, I was unsuccessful in convincing the people this was necessary for our common, interest. And the fact is that we do feel he's not looking at the same France as we are doing. He's trying to convince people that already his supporters. It was like campaigning, like when you campaign politically, for an election, when you're trying to move on your whole supporters. And today was like this kind of act, more than trying to reach the hand of other people that today are bargaining with him.
And I wonder why you think he's keeping his Prime Minister, Elizabeth Borne, in office. He said today he still had confidence in the Prime Minister. She's the sort of parliamentary face of this policy, isn't she? And often in the past, presidents, when they found themselves in a bit of a sticky situation, have got rid of their Prime Minister. He's not doing that. Why do you think he's not?
Because probably because he wants to stick to the victory side. He said she won.
But she didn't win.
No,
she didn't
exactly.
have the votes by MPs.
He's speaking his truth, and his truth is about, to these people at least, is that we reached the level of the battle when we had to find a majority. And the 49.3 article is giving the president and the prime minister the capacity to find a majority when he has no majority. Because he is still talking about that. He told Mrs. Borne would now have the agenda to find pieces of majority for each kind of text. He agrees he won't have a government majority. He said, we tried at the starting weeks of this mandature, and we didn't succeed. So now we know we're going to have to fight every kind of text, but we know where we want to go. And he was like acting this way. He said, I don't bother with my re-election because I have no re-election in 2027. So I want to go straight away for the common interest of the French. And I do know what is this common interest.
Jean-Christophe Gallien, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed. But I suspect this story may well run and run. We'll hear from you again, I'm sure. Thanks very much for now.